Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I want to kind of dive into how I became a real estate agent. How did I get here? One thing I believe in is that you should be able to redefine yourself as many times as you wish. Redefine yourself to yourself and to others as many times as you see fit. And that includes career. So you should be able to change careers as many times as you want to, honestly. So for me personally, okay, let's go in order. I've been a medical transporter. I've been a server. Loved being a server. I've worked in retail. I did barista. I was a bartender. I've been a banquet server at a hotel, at different hotels. Claims assistant, now real estate. Oh wait, I also was a grocery clerk. So I've just done so many different jobs. And now look at me. Now I get to also put real estate agent on that list. So this is how I became, first of all, this is my why. This is why I became a real estate agent. To be frank, I got interested in it from Selling Sunset on Netflix. Like seriously, when it first came out during COVID, I was like, oh, those girls are gorgeous. And they're making money. Just going through gorgeous houses. I was like, I want to do that. I think I could do that. So this was in like 2020 or 2021. And I honestly just kept procrastinating. You know, during COVID stages, like places weren't really hiring like that. I got blessed with the job that I have now because I still am working my full-time job while being a real estate agent. And so I started that job during COVID period. And, you know, I was kind of just like focused on that than anything. So like real estate agency was just like, oh, it's something I'll do eventually. Fast forward, what was it? 2023. I think 2023 is when I started studying for it. Like the end of 2023, I was like, okay, it's time to be for real. Let's find out how we get to where we're trying to be. How do we become a real estate agent? So aside from the Netflix show, another reason why I got into real estate is because of the financial aspect of it. So I'm thinking long term. I know that this is a career field that's going to bless my future family and future generations. Like it's all about building that generational wealth. I'm at that stage. I'm at that age now. I'm getting old. Shite. I'm at this stage and this age now where you have to kind of think more long term and you have to think like not just for your current generation, but the ones to come. And I just know that like with a career in real estate and then just really just having a real estate license, I knew for sure would be something that would come in handy in the long run. So this is everything I did to become a licensed real estate agent in Georgia. Because I still had a full-time job, I couldn't just take the classes that are required. Because in Georgia, you have to take 75 hours of real estate classes in order to take the exam and get that license. Now, because I have a full-time job, that's not something that was really feasible for me because I can't just take off all that time from work. I still have to work. So I selected the virtual option. This is where you take your courses online by yourself at your own pace. You are not sitting in the classroom. You do not have a teacher speaking to you. You are responsible for learning the material on your own. So I selected CE Shop. I went on CE Shop, paid for the classes, started taking the classes. Boom. You have to do 75 hours. That's what qualifies you to take the state exam. It does not matter how long it takes you to accomplish those 75 hours or 75 studying hours, they call it, but it has to be 75 hours and it has to be documented. So the real estate classes that I was taking, what I did, I tried to take 3 hours a day of studying minus weekends. So 3 hours a day I would try and study and like really focus in. Now I know people who have done it in 75 hours and were ready to take the exam and boom, that was it. Me personally, y'all, I think by the time I was done with the class, I had docked in, I believe like 154 hours or something like that. Like that's how long it took me to study the material, understand the material, and then take the exam to pass the material. So just because it's saying you have 75 hours, you don't have 75 hours. That's just the minimum that they're giving you to go through the course and make it to the exam for the class. So the material, it was so much reading. It was so much reading, so much and I didn't just want to just go through it. I wanted to actually understand what I was reading, understand what it meant, and understand all the scenarios. So that took some time. I will say with CE Shop, they are very thorough. If you are intentional about setting time apart to study, like really focus and put your phone on do not disturb, get off of social media, like really, if you study the material and you really take some time to be intentional about that, you're gonna be fine, because CE Shop offers you everything that you need to pass the exam. I am a flashcard kind of gal, so I had like a stack of flashcards. I still have them in my room. Stack of flashcards with just like some key terms and some vocabulary and some scenarios and this and that and some math, some equations that you kind of have to know, or some numbers that you have to know. So those flashcards helped a lot. Now, after 150 plus hours of me studying in this class, I finally made it to the end of the course / class, and I was finally able to take the class exam. Just like any class in school, when it's the end of the semester, you have an exam you have to take. So I finally made it to that point, took the exam. It was virtual, and they kind of just had like a camera person looking at you, like they check your surroundings to make sure you don't have anything around you that will cause you to cheat. Like they check everything, make sure like nothing is written down, nothing is on your hand, nothing is on your, nothing is on your wrist. Like they check your area. Even though it's virtual, don't try to cheat. First of all, why would you even do that? Study the material, you're gonna be fine. But so took the class exam virtually, passed, because your girl is smart, and now it was time to pay for the state licensed exam. Don't think just because you took that class exam and passed, you can now go to the office and get your license. No, you have to take the state exam and pass that. So it was now time for me to pay for the state exam and take it. Paid for the exam, y'all. Went to the testing room. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was about 60-50 on, I was about 60-40 on confidence. So I didn't walk, switch that around. I was about 40-60 on confidence. I didn't walk in there feeling overly confident or even super confident about passing the exam. But I still went in there, took the exam, y'all, and I failed. And what blew me is the fact that I failed by like 7 points. Like I was 7 points away. This was so annoying. It was so frustrating. But you know what? I was like, I guess I'm just have to get back to the books. So what I did, I logged back into my CE Shop course and studied a few materials again. There were some key things that were like really, really tricky to me. So I kind of like honed in on that based off of what I could kind of remember from the test. And I was like, okay, boom, now let's try it again. So pay for the exam again. Go back up there again. Oh, this is in person. Like when it comes to the state exam, it has to be in person. So drive back up there again to take the exam. Guess what? Girl, I failed again. This time it was like 4 points off. Oh la la. At this point, I was asking TikTok. I was like, how did y'all pass your exam? What did you do? Da 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 da. And this one girl who had just recently gotten her license, she was like, yo, I recommend this person on YouTube. I will attach him somewhere here. But she was like, yo, I recommend him on YouTube. He's so helpful. So I popped on his videos and I just started watching his videos on repeat. And I realized that some of the things that he was talking about, I was, oh shoot, I remember seeing that on the test. I definitely didn't answer that right. Definitely did not answer that right. And just kept doing that. So went ahead, scheduled and paid for the third exam. Third time's a charm, right? Wrong. Your girl failed again. And this time I was 2 points away. I said, okay, so we're low-key getting close. But we still didn't hit the mark. At this point, I was getting so frustrated. I was like, first of all, I can't keep spending this money. Second of all, oh my gosh. But knowing me, I knew for sure I was going to keep paying for the exam, and I was going to keep going until I get the desired result. Like, I just knew. I had already told myself, girl, if you have to take this exam 10 times before you pass, you're going to take it 10 times until you pass. But you're going to pass this exam. So this time around, I literally logged back into my CE shop class again. And I was like, okay, let me see. Woosah, let's give ourselves a month and a half to study. Act as if you ain't seen this material before. Girl, it's time to really lock in for real. Went over the index cards again, went over everything on the little whatchamacallits. Like, I started like talking to myself in the shower. Like, I would even like, when I would clean around the house, I had videos of myself kind of like saying the answers. And so as I'm cleaning, I had like my earplugs in and I'm like listening to the answers and listening to the questions and going over the answers and the questions in my ear, going over the recording over and over and over and over. Went ahead and paid for my 4th exam. And when I walked in there, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I did feel very confident. I did. I felt 70-30 confidence. Like, that's how confident I was. I was like, girl, like, I walked in there with a whole different energy, like different vibe. I just knew I was gonna pass. But at the same time, I was like, Lord, if I don't pass, please, God, if I don't pass, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Please, please, please. Took the exam, and as I was taking the exam and going through it, and I was like marking on my paper, I was like, girl, I know for sure this is right. 1 tally mark. I know for sure I got this right. Boom, another tally mark. And then when I was done with all the questions, I think it was like 210 questions. It's a lot of questions. Once I was done with all the questions, I took my time to go over everything that I had kind of marked with a question mark. I was like, okay, go over this and make sure you answer this right. Double check your work, triple check your work if you need to. I did that. It took me 3 hours to do that exam. It took me 3 hours to do that exam because I wanted to get it right this time. I was like, no rushing. No rushing at all. It's time to focus. Got out of the exam room 3 hours later, done. Walked up to the little desk, and the lady just quietly like printed out the paper as usual, handed it to me, and this time instead of failed, it was a pass. When I read that, I lied to you not, my eyes started watering. Like, when I read that, I even said it out loud. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Like, your girl started tearing up. I don't cry in front of people now. I didn't cry. I was just tearing up small. But I was like, thank you, Jesus. Finally. So y'all, I say that to say, if you want to become a real estate agent, please take those classes seriously, really focus, like take your time to study the material. I don't think there was anything on that test that wasn't studied upon for real. Like, that wasn't like in the books. So if you're just in your book, if you're studying the material and really taking your time, if you gotta, go on little studying dates with people, do that. Like, grab some flashcards, study with you as much as you can. Study the material as much as you can. And when it comes to being in that exam room, take your time. Do not stress yourself. Like, I believe they give you 3 or 4 hours. They give you more than enough time. That's all I know. They give you more than enough time to really focus and take the exam and take your time and go over your work and take your time. Like, that's all I can say. Take your time and study the material, and you're gonna pass it. And you might pass it in less than 4 tries, okay? That's what I pray for you. That's what I hope for you. You now have to get your license. There's another fee for that. There's a fee for everything, by the way, fun fact. You have to pay to get your license, like a physical copy with your license and your license number and all the good stuff. So I did that. This was September of 2024. After that, I didn't even start looking for brokerages or anything until like December. And I want to say, when it comes to choosing a brokerage, please take your time as well. Study these brokerages, ask questions, interview as much brokerages as you feel like you need to, just to ensure that you are at the right place for you. Like, you need to be somewhere where you feel like you can grow, where you feel like you have more than enough support. So I am with Keller Williams North Atlanta, and I like that they have a lot of studying material. Like it does get overwhelming because there's so much, but there's no way to really work around that. Like, it just is what it is. You're in a whole new field, you're in a whole new career. You don't know anything about real estate to begin with anyway. So of course it's going to feel overwhelming. It's going to be overwhelming. But you just push through, and I'm grateful that I'm at an office where if I need to ask questions, I can ask questions. There are other agents there who are mad successful. Like, these people are millionaires, multi-millionaires. They're so successful, and they've always made it known that, hey, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And honestly, y'all, when it comes to real estate, this industry, you have to have tough skin. 1, 2, you have to allocate proper time, honestly, especially prospect. That's something that I wasn't prepared for. For someone who still has a full-time job, that's the part that I've kind of been like honestly struggling with, because a lot of other real estate agents, they don't got like the people who are just doing real estate, you don't got nothing else to do but to do real estate. So yeah, from 8 to 4 p.m. or whatever, they can spend all that time prospecting. They can go door knocking. They can do cold calling. They can do all of that. With my job, like, I don't really have as much flexibility as another person who doesn't have a 9-to-5 might have. But I'm still trying to make it work, as best as I possibly can. But yeah, that's about my journey so far, you guys. So if you are interested in getting to the real estate field, I definitely recommend it 100%. I think it's the one thing I'm super grateful for. I'm just grateful that I now know something that I didn't know before. Like, in 2023, I knew nothing about real estate. In 2024, I didn't know anything really about real estate. But now, today, March 2025, I can tell you I know a lot more than I did last year. And guess what? In 2026, I'm gonna know even more. So that's one thing that I really appreciate about being a real estate agent, is just the knowledge. There's always something to learn. There is so much to learn. And the people here, like, yeah, everyone is really, really busy. And not everyone will always be available to kind of like help you out. But again, if you pair yourself up with the proper brokerage who has the proper coaching, then you should be fine. And also, closed mouths don't get fed. That's what I'm learning. Like, no one knows you need help if you don't tell them you need help. If you are confused, if you don't understand something, open your mouth and ask. Let it be known, like, hey, this is confusing. Hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Hey, this is happening, that. I'm not moving. Like, what's up? Let it be known. And if you have any questions about getting to the real estate field, or what that looks like, or just any questions at all in relation to real estate, please drop those in the comments. Also, if you know anyone looking to buy or sell real estate this year, 2025, hit up your girl. Hit me up, like, for real. Like, follow me on my other socials, send me a message. I'm super friendly. I would love to meet you. I would love to have a sit down chat with you. But yeah, if you know anyone looking to buy or sell real estate this year, definitely hit me up. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in my next video. Bye.